Hey guys, and welcome. This is Hot Eye for Female, and today I'm answering a question by Study Muncher, and he was asking me about rejection and what to do when it comes to approaching women and how to overcome that fear. So I'm more than happy to help out, and what I've done is I've split this up into two sections. And the first section is, what does rejection mean to you and how can we learn to change that? And then the second part is how to minimize rejection, because there are certain ways in which you can do that when it comes to approaching women. So first thing, rejection. This is pretty much the universal fear. I think everyone doesn't like rejection, hates it, completely scared of it, but we can all choose to respond to it in a particular way. And successful people in any industry, whether it be business or attracting women or in sports, have, and especially actors and dancers and pretty much everywhere, this is all something that we have to face. It is part of like the human experience to face our fear of rejection, because pretty much all our dreams, hopes and aspirations are like out there, and to get them we have to kind of break through this barrier, and it's so important. And if you're scared of rejection in this one area, then what other areas in your life are you holding yourself back because you're worried about the same thing? This isn't just about women, this is about like pretty much every area that you're stuck in your life. And if you overcome it in one area, then you'll have enough momentum to overcome it in other areas. So what is this whole rejection thing like about? Why are we so scared of it, and what can we do to kind of change that? The first thing is that you need to realize about this fear is a lot of it is so scary to us because we base so much of our self-esteem on the outcome of what happens when we ask someone for something, anything. And basically it boils down to the fact that, look, if we get rejected, then we aren't loved, we're not enough, we aren't worthy as a person. And the only way you can really overcome this is to realize that when someone says no to you, whatever it is, it's not about you and it's more about them. For instance, if you've approached a woman on a train or in a cafe or wherever, and she said no to you, okay, 10% could have been to you because maybe you remind her of her ex-boyfriend, she just doesn't want to go down that path, or maybe she just doesn't like your haircut, or maybe she just doesn't like the shirt you're wearing, or maybe she's just not into guys, who knows. And she could also be having all these other external factors, so she could be having a really bad day, or this could not be the right time, or something bad could have just happened, in her family life, or maybe she's just not emotionally ready and she's just a bitch to everyone. Who knows what it could be? But the point is that most of the time there are all these other factors that you can't even control that make a woman say yes or no. Okay, and so when you realize this, you can take kind of all that guilt and responsibility off yourself of going, oh, it's all my fault, it's all me, there's something wrong with me, I'm not good enough, and all these lovely thoughts start running through your head about and they're just eating away at your self-image and your self-confidence until the point where you don't even want to go and approach women because you just think, oh, well, why bother? She's just going to freaking reject me and it's going to make me feel bad, and I don't like feeling bad, so I'm just going to play it safe. And so out of most of the study that I've done, a lot of the expert PUAs or people who have been successful in business, for instance, because I study a lot of that as well, this is something that they have all had to face. But the only thing they've done is change the way in which they respond to rejection. So basically what I've noticed is a lot of the successful people, they see rejection as part of the process to becoming successful. That's it. And basically they see rejection as feedback, as learning, as a place to challenge themselves, rather than getting it right all the time. Because it's kind of like it's kind of like playing against your younger brother or sister on a game board, like back in the day when we used to play on little board game things, and knowing that your brother or sister is just cannot play this game and you're just completely killing it, you're just winning, and by the second time you've won, you're like absolutely freaking bored out of your mind. The same happens of life. So take this challenge as something that's going to make your life exciting and interesting, and you're going to learn so much about yourself. And at the end of the day, if you say to yourself, look, I'm going to get this whole thing handled, I'm going to get so good at this, then you're going to grow so much as a person. You're going to challenge yourself, and you're going to experience these moments of success, which are going to build the momentum to propel you further and further, and allow you to do things that you couldn't even have imagined of doing before. But what I want to say is you've got to take little steps. You can't expect to, one day be absolutely terrified of women, and then the next day just completely 180 degree and just be completely confident and totally awesome. It happens gradually, and it happens gradually because as you start to do that, you start to build more positive experiences of approaching women, and you start to build your self-confidence, and then, a couple months later or a couple years later, or whatever, how long it takes to kind of rechange that self-image, and then one day you realize, wow, actually I got that handled. It's something that I'm proud of because I overcame it. So that's what I want to say about the thinking part in terms